Breaking news, Neil Warnock is going to step down as the Huddersfield manager after Wednesday's home game against Stoke. He's speaking with Jake Edwards now, the chief executive. Let's listen in.
I might as well go straight to, then I can talk after, can't I? Hi, I am.
Hi Neil, how you doing? You okay? So obviously, your last game will be against Stoke for Huddersfield. I mean...
Oh, my last game here?
The last game here. Okay,
thank you.
So you're not retiring?
No.
Fantastic. So, why now, when we're 7 games into the new season?
Yeah.
I know when we spoke to you over the summer, you were determined to kind of help the transition with Huddersfield. Why 7 games into a fresh season?
I think we've actually done what we set out to do. Really, I think, as Jake said, Kevin's wants a 3-year plan to get in the Premiership, and I've always said, when Dean brought me back, it was Dean who pleaded with me for days and days and days and changed my mind. And I said to him, look, Dean, I'll come back and help while I'm wanted. And obviously, once I'm told that they're ready to bring somebody in, yes, I've got to admit I thought it would be about Christmas time. Are you with me? But it's come earlier, sooner than I'd expected. But once they've told me that, I think you've got to move on quickly. Really, you can't. I think any job, not being disrespectful, if you're not wanted, type of thing, you want to go straight away, don't you? So, and I didn't mean that I meant that they've always said that Jake and I always said that when the time comes, he'll be straight up with me, and that's what they've done, and we wish them all the best. We've had a great time here with the fans, and I think we've turned the corner again. We've got all the injured lads back. I think we're looking a decent team. I said to my lads at West Brom, there's no reason why we don't get up towards the playoffs now, in my opinion, when I look at what there is. I don't see much better back 4 or 5, or in midfield now. Ben's there. We're a few short up front, but we're going to contribute goals elsewhere, and on Saturday we had the 2 wide players score, so I think it's a decent squad now, and I think the fans have enjoyed the football, and it's been really, I think we've put the pride back into the club. I think when I came it was all fractions, and my health is very good, by the way. I saw people saying I'm leaving because of my health. Well, I've never felt better, really. And you say about retirement, but if anything, I've got the buzz again. I really feel well, and I'm sure when February comes round, there'll be 1 or 2 people asking me to come out again. But I also appreciate, I realise that, I've always said to Kevin, it's his club, and when he thinks the time is right, then he's got to make the decision, and I will go whenever he wants me to go. That's where I left it with him. I think it was the right thing that I came back. I don't think it would have helped if somebody had come in pre-season, and although it's a short stint, I think the stability has helped Jake and everyone at the club to get their own feet under the table. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of progressive changes in this next few years.
I remember you saying in the summer that you wanted to be involved in the club's search for the next manager.
I wasn't, no. And I can't tell you who it is because they haven't told me. So presumably it's somebody I don't like. So ask me when they appoint him, eh?
You'll give it a seal of approval.
Small list of who he likes.
Fantastic. So can we assume that because you're leaving now, there is the successor is lined up?
Well, I would imagine so, but I think, today's about me leaving, really, isn't it? I'm sure in days, I can't see the team being without a manager for long, with the important games coming up, really, because we're in a good place at the moment.
When did you first tell the players that you were leaving?
Well, I think Jake told me after the West Brom game, and I told the senior players, on Friday morning, and I told Karoma and Sober Thomas to get the finger out on Saturday morning, and they both scored. So I should have told them earlier.
Fantastic. And the home game against Stoke, you were saying at the weekend you'd love to get a win over Stoke. It's going to be your last game. What kind of send-off will you get at it, Johnson?
Listen, I just can't tell you how it's... I've had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra, haven't I? The old thing. I think the thing about the Terrier fans is they've been so supportive, even when things weren't well. You know, I remember last year losing 2 games 4-0 on the trot, and the doom and gloom. Are you with me? And so it's one of those things. They've been so receptive all around the town where I've been, everywhere I've gone. It's been a pleasure to be the manager. You know, I've got a lot of history at the club now, and Sharon, my wife, always thought the world of Huddersfield, and that won't change. We might go somewhere else and have allegiance for a few months, but what we've done here has been amazing, really, and I think it needed to change. You know, Dean was ready to change. Kevin came in and said he'd buy the club whether we got relegated or not, which I thought was fabulous. And now they want to go their own way, and you know, then you've got to say good luck to them. You know, it's a decision they've made, and I've got to adhere to that.
Fantastic, thank you, Neil. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
To Catherine Hannah from Radio Leeds.
Thank you. Neil, are you disappointed that this decision has come now?
Yeah, of course I am. I mean, I think we're all, you know, I think when you're in the game, you turn, you look at what... I'll miss my players. My players have been absolutely fantastic. You know, even this morning, individuals, you know, the way I give them stick and laugh at them, and I think that's what keeps you young as a manager or as a person, really, that involvement. And I've got such a great group of players, I cannot tell you. I will miss them, you know, loads and loads, really. And to see players coming through now, you know, even like the last one I signed, Ben Wiles, is going to be a super player with the club. And you know, I look at Radoni and you know, and Josh and people like Ruffles, who they said, you know, was a free transfer, who's probably best left back in the league for me now, or left side. You know, and I love things like that. They've all got their own different characters. I'm sure I'll be in touch with one or two of them, even when I'm not involved, you know, because I've said my phone's always there for them to ring me. And that's how they are. They're a good group. They've listened to every word I've said. They might not have agreed with everything, but they know it's been for the best. And I think they've enjoyed the ride as well. And I told them, you know, when I came last year, enjoy my time here, lads, because, you know, not saying we're going back in time with the old-fashioned managers, but I think the humour goes out of the game a little bit now. I think it's too intense, some of the coaches and things. So I just said, enjoy your humour while you're here and your days off, because they'll be few and far between in years to come.
And just to be 100% clear on this is entirely
A typical Warnock sign-off there, as the big news this lunchtime is that he will be moving on after Wednesday's game against Stoke, despite the fact that Huddersfield have started the season relatively well, 2 wins in their last 2. But he said, we've actually done what we set out to do, really, and that, of course, was when he came in last season to keep them in the Championships, despite the 1-year contract extension that he signed in June. But a really interesting news conference, and it felt quite amicable between the club and Warnock and his coaching staff, although he did admit that he was disappointed that it's come this soon. He said that he'll miss his players as well. But once he was told that they're ready to bring someone in, he said, and it's come sooner than he expected, once they told him that, he's got to move on quickly. So the implication, although it wasn't said implicitly, is that Huddersfield do have a successor in mind. And Warnock responded to that question to say, I would imagine so. But yet again, that will be after Wednesday's game against Stoke, although, of course, an announcement may come sooner. Now, the 74-year-old said his health could not be any better. He said he's got the buzz back again. So, after 19 jobs in management, the question is, will there be a 20th for Neil Warnock?